Good afternoon. How is everybody today? Yeah, it's Wednesday, 11th of August. Here we are on tile 163. Now, can I just say, please, if Lorraine's watching out there, I hope you're feeling it better soon. I know you've been a little bit unwell, and okay, we just hope that you're going to be okay soon, and sending all our love and everything. But you've already had lots of messages, so I hope you feel that you're still part of us, still stay there. We want to know how you're getting on, so stick with us, Lorraine. Okay, so next thing then is, please don't panic. You can see 4 tiles in front of me. These are full-size tiles. It's the new colours, or 2 of them anyway. But you don't have to do this. You can use tiny tiles, all 4 if you want to. You can use different colours. You can use all the same. But even if you think, well, do you know what, it's a little bit much for me at the minute, I'm going to work primarily on one of them. I'm going to show you how we can put the whole thing together as one big piece, but I'm only going to sort of do the detail on one tile because, of course, within the hour, there's only so much we can do. So, okay, that's all sorted. Take a deep breath. Okay, so what we're going on to today then? All right, I've got, as I said, 4 tiles. I've just put a bit of tape and I've stuck them together so I can work with them easily enough. I've got my regular pencil. I've got 2 gel pens actually. I've chosen these because they go really nicely. If I just show you on the back, there you go. This one works well with this, and this looks, and that looks almost the same colour. So I'm going to work with those 2. Still got my black pen and my tortillon and my white pencil as well. And I have got a sample, so I'll show you later, that I've used the blues. So I've used those 2. So use whatever colours you want, or just go in with a regular white tile if you want to, and just use the black and white. It's entirely up to you. So we're ready for this then. Okay, first thing then, pencil. Take a deep breath. Feet on the floor. Let's just all chill out for a bit. I'm going to put a border into this. Now keep it light because we're not going to need all of it at the end. And I'm going to come in. I'm leaving about a centimetre's gap there because I actually want to put some words in there a little later on. Now, I hope you can see this on the sort of this bitter chocolate colour as well. It's a divine colour, but there you go. There you are, see it. You can still see it. Chris, they're not small ones, but you can use small ones if you want to. Or, as I said, you can just do one tile. If you're going to just do one tile, you're only going to need the border on the 2 sides, because imagine this is your one tile. We're going to work from here outwards. So it's entirely up to you. I know we've done larger pieces before. And we've done tiles that allow you to sort of work along all of them. So don't worry too much about it. I thought I'd start as a means to, as I'm going to get the picture all together. Okay. So as you can tell from my lines, it doesn't have to be straight. See, I've missed the dot there. Well, that's entirely fine too. Oh, hello, Bonnie. Hi. Oh, it's lovely to see people. Oh, sorry, I don't mention all the names. By the time I got through all the names, we'd never get any tangling done. So it is lovely that you're all here. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start on this darker one here because I'm going to use this, and I think that's going to perhaps be the clearest one. So I'm going to start by working from the centre there. Okay. Now, if you've got your ruler with the circles in, that would work brilliantly. Do that. But at the moment, I don't, so I'm not. So what I'm going to do is start with a semicircle. Imagine we're just working on the one tile just for a minute. Okay. So I'm going to put in a sort of curved line in the middle there. You see? Okay. And then I'm going to do a really narrow one. Just sort of following the same shape. Okay, and then a little bit wider there. And then another one there. Okay, so if you're working on one tile, that's all you'd need to do. You see, so we've got that in the corner. So we've got the border around the top here and the curves there. However, if you think, oh, do you know what, I'm going to go for this, I'm going to try and do all of them at once, then what I would do, you see I've changed colour to continue that line from there around and again. So I'm doing the same thing, but I've just sort of changed colour pen, you see? Okay. And then I might stay on this same pen here. There we go. That's that one. And that one. Now it doesn't matter if they're a different shape. Please don't think it's got to be perfect. It's perfect enough. However it comes out. There we go. And then from here along. There we go. Now, of course, when you're using gel pens, you know that you've got to slow down a little bit because we need the pen to have some time just to flow. Okay, there we go. So as I say, if you're just going to use one tile, then just sort of work with one tile, and you see that all you need to do is those first circles there. All right, so the main drawing I'll try and get done on two, but the detail I think it's got to be just on the one, just to get the time done. So, okay, let's move in then. So working on doesn't really matter. I'm going to work on this one for now. I think what I'll do here, I'm just going to come in from that centre point, and I'm just going to create, oh actually I think no, I'll do it the other way. I'm going to create a little bubble here. There we are. And then just going to fill it in. Now we know when filling in with a gel pen, just sort of keep it flowing. There we are. And don't sort of wander back over it because we don't want you to lose that nice sort of flat look that gives. Okay, so here we are. It's just a little bubble either side there, a little semicircle, and fill it in. Okay, then of course, you know, you'd do the same on the other side. All right, and then this one. Okay, but I'm going to primarily focus on this one so you can see the whole thing, and then if you want to you can do it over the other side. So let's just do a little aura or draw around that one, and then same again on this one. Just take your time with it, no rush, and don't feel that you've got to keep up with me. That's not what it's about either. I do tangle pretty quick, but you know, you don't have to. You can just do a quick sketch if you want and then copy it back later. You see? Okay. So, if I turn it this way now, so what I'm going to do is go from this point and create a little loop. I'm going to put a little loop inside as well. Okay? And then, of course, the same on this side, and I'm going to make sure that that's a solid one there. Now you would if you were working on the one tile, but you know, you've got to think that you'd be working on around the whole shape. So there's that particular one. All right, so we've got these lovely little sort of squares here, or diamondy kind of shapes. Let's aura inside there, look, and I'm just going to fill that in. And the same look just on the edge there, there's a little bit. Okay. So the next one, let's fill this in. I'm going to start here with a bubble. And then I'm going to do one on the end, so it's a full sort of bubble there. And the same there. Okay. So then I'm going to sort of gauge it. So if I put one in the middle there, I can do another one either side. And of course, depending on the size of your sort of curved line you drew, it might be that this is a little bit thick for bubbles and you've got to have ovals, or you might want to do 2 rows. You might want to just leave it as that. So again, I'm just going to come on in and fill in those gaps. Remember, just sort of be careful filling them, because we know it takes a little bit longer for this to dry. So we don't want to be sort of smudging it as we go. Okay. So there we are, just sort of take your time, and of course you can change the shape around a little as you're doing this, if you need to. There we go. Okay. So we've got one more sort of row left, and I think what we're going to do in this row, we're again start in the middle. I'm just going to put a bit of a thick line there, you see? Almost like a little square, and then little lines either side. So here we go. Oh, Tina, that's not good, is it? You send our best to Sue. Goodness me. I hope she's all right. And I know Rosie's mum's not been well. I hope she's on the mend. So, you know, I don't manage to get to all the messages because I'm looking down at the tile. So I'm not ignoring you. I just I can't do it. I'll be all over the place with my tile if I looked at them all. Okay. Oh, so there we go. That's sort of our corner bit. Now, of course, if we were going to do the whole thing, let's just sort of, then I'd repeat this design in here, and then I'd use the other colours to repeat them in there. And it will just depends on how much time we've got at the end. I might come in and show you this one, but you can see that you've got a design there, and it's going to be the same all the way around. So then let's sort of turn it on its side, and I'm going to come in a little bit larger there, okay? Watch it so you can see the end of the tile. There we are. All right. So I'm going to, again, work sort of in the central area here, and I'm going to just create a little bit of a curve. So. And then the same on the other side. I want to say the same. Don't think they've got to be symmetrical. You see that one's a little bit more flat than that. That's fine. And then let's put another one here. And you see how it sort of goes underneath each other? So it's like this one's the main character there. And let's do another. Okay. Turning it round, putting another this side. All right, so this time I've actually got enough space here to sort of do, when it's not overlapping, it's sort of in there. If you need to, you overlap it, it's fine. But I'm just doing the half, because then this one will pick up the other half. And the same this side. Okay, there we go. And then if I come a little bit larger now with these. And let's just aura inside. Oh, let's just join that. Now I'm not going to aura around the bottom of it. I'm just sort of doing around those sides there. Don't have to go too wide with it. Keep it kind of narrow. I know it's a little bit tricky at times doing narrow with a gel pen, but just let the pen flow. There's no need to press on, and be fine. Square decorative dies, Lynn. Now, you've been looking. They are due in very, very soon. And it's not just for the regular tiles, these little slots. We've also got a die coming for the tiny tiles as well. And you know what's really good about them is it means that if you've got a die you like, or if you just want to put a tile into a card without damaging it, then you can just literally put your die on your card or on your other dies you're using and just cut out the slots. It's amazing. I'm so pleased with them. Okay, so here we go. I'm just going to come back to the middle one now. I'm just going to put a little line in there and a bit of a slightly larger dot than we would normally put in the middle. And then let's have another one. See, it's a little bit narrower. I do say that I always do try and use things, and you know, sometimes there are hidden little bits and pieces. So you notice I did use these coloured tiles before they came out. Ah, sneaky. I have to keep you on your toes, see? That's what it is. I'm surprised that Chris didn't pick up on that, because he's got every single colour tile you could possibly imagine I've done. Yeah, half of one there, look. So, these are really nice to work on, actually. They've got a nice texture to them. It's only very slight, but it's nice. There we are. Okay, so I'm getting these little sort of stamens in wherever I can. See how I'm just going to get a little one in there and one in there. Okay, kind of like that. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to come on in and put some little dots in there. We're not going all the way up. I'm just going to add a few. Just sort of gives it a little bit more detail. It just sort of brings out those little shapes there, doesn't it? Go one more with that. You know, if it's the space that you've done is not big enough, that's fine. You can still go in. It'll look like little lines rather than dots. There we are. Oh, Chris, that's going to be amazing using all the different colours. It did cross my mind, actually. I did think about using black and white. Like I say, the sample I did is in colour, but I sort of wanted to use these colours as well. This one reminds me of like, it's almost like a chocolate and caramel, isn't it? It's really nice, really creamy colours. There we are. Okay. So I'm going to come out a little bit now. There we are. Okay, not so bad. So you imagine this now all the way around. It's going to create something quite special, isn't it? Okay, so I think what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to come in with a little row of bubbles. Just sort of working my way around the outside. You don't have to have them too large. I think if in doubt, you could aura or do a row of bubbles. And whilst you're doing this, it sort of breaks up one section from the next. And it gives you thinking time. So you can either, you know, sit and look at it for a while, think, you know, I'm just going to aura it with bubbles, and then something else is going to come my way. So, again. Plus, if you've got a little bit of a shaky hand, then these can just sort of neaten up those edges for you. And it doesn't look so bad. So, it's got quite a lot of options. These bubbles. They don't have to be the same size, just as long as they touch. That's all that matters. So it's looking kind of nice. I like these colours. So I did look at doing a black and white one. I'm glad I used these. It's kind of different to what we sort of used to. There we go. All right. So of course I'd continue that and then, of course, if I was going to sort of move it onto this side as well, I'd just change colour as I was going. You see, you're getting that little design going on. Yeah. Yes, Kim, thank you for that. Yeah, they are. Look, hang on. They're just taped on the back, you see. There you are. Okay. Just means I can keep them together then. They don't fall apart. All right, are we ready for the next bit? Here we go then. So I'm going to work from the centre. You could, if you wanted to, put a little bit of a pencil line in if you feel you need to. But I've sort of got it there, that's okay. And I'm going to come in with another of those sort of petal shapes. But this time, you see I've kept it just as a single curve. Doesn't mean it's going to be the same on both sides. There we are. And then, again, I'm going to create that sort of overlap first on that side. and then on the other. Now you notice I have left quite a gap there. So don't think you've got to go all the way up, because of course as you come round this corner, it's going to get a little bit closer, isn't it, to the edge of the tile. So again, see, I'm just working side to side. And then I get another one there, see? So that's sort of touching the border now. And then this one here, sort of touching the border. And then of course I'm going to come to this one again, and I'm going to do the same as before. And I'm see, I've gone over the border, it's fine. Just put sort of half of one in there, and the same on this side. Just going to get half of one in there. Okay. You see, I've got this gap. It's quite a wide gap, isn't it? And I think what's kind of nice, you can change it a bit. I'm going to put one in there, looks it goes behind. And then I am going to do the same there as well. So it means I've kept my centrepiece as I wanted it, but I've just changed it up a little bit as I've gone round. Okay? So let's... it is goth, it is. I think sometimes we shy away from them, don't we, these mandalas? And something a bit different about this. I mean, we're not trying to make it completely mirror imaged. It's not what it's about, but... which means it's a bit easy. You know, if you think, oh, I struggle a little bit with the circle shape, you can always use the circular frame stencils, and that'll give you a perfect circle, so you can work with a round to start with. There's always ways and means. But, of course, we like to do it freehand for these sessions if possible. I do bring a stencil in now and again, but if I can, because I know you've not all got them, and that's not fair. You know, just to bring it in. Okay, so you notice then that, of course, I'm doing this aura around the sides again. Not at the bottom, so just sort of around the sides. And then, no rush with this. And around. Now I know a lot of you have been getting your tile swaps, so that's really nice. Thank you so much for posting them. It really means a lot to the people who do them, because they know that it's got there safely. Apart from Leslie's, as we've seen, it looks like it's been attacked by a rabid dog. But Ali, I hope you're going to complain about that. It's awful. What, you know, just thinking they can say sorry. You know, what happened to it? Okay. So again, I'm going to sort of start in the centerpiece here, this first one I drew, and I'm going to put in a little bit of a grid. Now, I've already sort of gone off a little bit from the sample that I did, but as I've said before, and I know where it's heading, but sometimes it's nice to change up the tangles a little bit. You know, I don't have to sort of keep it rigidly the same, but you wouldn't know if I didn't show you. Oh, I know, Louise, they're fabulous. Do you know, I think each time we're getting a bit more confident with them, and you know, there's no right or wrong, is there? As long as you put the use the tangle in some way that I've included. Even if you don't like the tangle, if you do it in a somewhere small, or you know, it works as long as your tile's within the size specifications as well. And that's purely, you know, because a lot of people send small envelopes, and if your tile's too big, I can't get it in the envelope. So there you go. See, I've just sort of created a little square either side of the every time those lines meet. So let's do another one. So there we go. Bit of a grid going on. And then here we go. Same this side. Okay. Right. So as you know, we're moving the business premises on Monday. So it's supposed to be the tile swap at 2 o'clock, but because we'll be a little bit busy, I'm gonna change it to 7 o'clock in the evening. I'll still do it, and it'll still be available for you to pick up as and when. But I didn't want to change the date because obviously that has an impact on when the swaps take place and all the rest of it. So I'll be doing it at 7 o'clock in the evening on Monday, and I'll let you know all how the move's gone. So you can imagine at the moment we're up to our ears in boxes. So we have started to pack stock today. So just a quick apology to anybody that's orders. Thank you very much. I do appreciate orders because I couldn't move if they weren't. But we're not going to be able to get them out because obviously we've now got stock in 2 places. So our earliest postage is going to be probably next Tuesday, Wednesday. So thank you everybody for your patience there. We'll get to it as soon as we can. I know there's some Create and Craft orders. They are due to be collected today. So that'll be the last ones for them till Wednesday as well. So they'll be on their way. It's just, we're going to be up and running as quickly as we can at the other place. And of course I'll send some pictures once we're in, so you can have a look at it. It's been a lot of work going on to make it habitable. Oh my goodness me, it's been a lot of work, but hopefully it's worth it. Still a little bit to do, but there we are. Okay. Oh, Lynn, yes, do you know that black tea can give you heartburn? I've really struggled with that these past few months. And so my regular chocolate chip mint is out of the way now, and I'm on to just white or green tea. I must admit I do feel a bit better because of it. There we are. Okay, now this one I'm gonna sort of create a grid just as I would normally do, but be aware that it's gonna sort of carry on onto the next tile if that's what you're gonna do. All right, there we go. So now it's quite a few new people did the swap this time, which is great. I'm building up quite a nice little collection now. It's really lovely to see what people do with them. Oh, do you, Lynn? Ah, see, that's why I can't do it, see, because I can't do the dairy. Well, my tea's always, well, at the moment the one that's just arrived is sort of a reddish colour. It's some kind of fruit, sort of malarkey. I'm going to have to get used to it. And of course I'm aiming for more water during the day as well, so constantly walking around with a bottle of water now. Oh my goodness me. Things you do, just to try and stay fit and healthy. There we go. Okay, so this is really nice to do when you've got a little bit of colour and you've got a really good gel pen that's giving you a decent flow. Works really nice. Don't worry about trying to get them all to match. Each one is a separate entity now. We don't want to worry about that anyway. There we are. Just sort of creating those grids. I think this is going to be lovely. Even if it was a single tile, it's going to be lovely. There's a full sort of shape. That'd be really good. So just sort of not rushing about it. I mean, if you wanted to use little dots instead of squares, you could. Or if you wanted to, colour every other square in and not put the dots, you could. A bit of a grid there. There we go. So just sort of working my way down there. Okay. Same that way. Again, just sort of bringing in those sort of little squares. This would be kind of nice with gold, wouldn't it? I've got a gold pen. I could add a touch of gold in there. Oh, maybe bring a coloured gel pen in just for something a little bit different. There we are. Okay. I mean, coloured pencils will go on top of it as well. I tried that the other day. I did a little dream catcher. I posted that yesterday, I think. So by all means, you bring your coloured pencils in, or your paints. I know Chris has done one with his paints, his little totem. And the metallic paints are absolutely superb on it, because of course you've got that gold and copper and also the pearlescent white. But then of course the original colours work well as well. So great coverage. All right. So almost done with this. And then of course, if you were doing a larger one, you'd continue this all the way around. Okay, let's have a look. See, that's looking lovely, isn't it? Look at that. All right, really pleased with that. Deep breath. Okay, ready for the next bit? All right. So we're going to do a little bit of a twist on an old favourite. So I'll bring a bit of a curve in. And a bit of a curve in. There we are. And let's go a little bit larger. There we go. And I'm just going to put a little curve over the top there. See? So next one. And let's just bring it around. So you'll recognise this tangle, but you notice I've done it a little bit larger today, because what I want to do is go around it with bubbles. Yeah, so it sort of brings in that first little row that we did. Just sort of give it a little bit of a different shape there. Okay. So then in with the next one. Now I'm not going to worry too much about going over the border, but I don't want to completely go over it. I want to have a little bit of space. There we go. All right. So again, just fill it with bubbles. You see? So let's put another one in here. So they are a little bit larger than normal. That's purely because we want to add a little bit of more detail to it. Sometimes it's nice to have those little roots, but just going a little bit larger makes it that little bit different. There we are. Curve again. And then round we go. You notice when I'm going round, this round shape never touches this curve. Everybody draws them differently, I know, but that might be something, if you're struggling with it, to sort of remind yourself of. If it's touching that little curve, you're perhaps drawing them a little bit too small. One coming in here. There we go. That's it. And see, round it goes. Poke roots with perms. Yeah, that's about it. They're lovely, aren't they? And it just sort of changes it a bit. Okay. So let's just see where that's heading. You see where it's starting to sort of grow out of there? I don't think you've got to have one coming out of every sort of set. Just sort of work it round. See how you feel. Look at the space you've got, and if you think, oh, see here, definitely can get another one in, think about the space and how many you want to put in, Do you really want to go over your border? Do you want to keep them within? Restrained? See, now here I'm going to bring another one up because I feel that sort of needs it there. And then back around so they can go behind each other, they can overlap, you see. Let's come on this side and see where they're going to lead here. Okay. So it's definitely got a similar feel to my original. But, you know, I've just changed it around a bit. So here I'm going to just have a little bit of one showing. So, it, you know, it looks like they go behind, things like that. There we go. And then let's have a look. Maybe another one there. Okay. There we go. And again, it's sort of just peeking behind those petal shapes there. Okay, so far it's not looking too bad at all. All right, I'm not going to put any in this one. I'm going to leave little gaps. It's fine, because of course we can come in and we can add other things in there. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm just going to sort of fill those gaps with some bubbles. You see, it's just going to sort of disappear a little bit. So they start quite close together, different sizes, look, and then they start to break away. Alright, same in this one. And just sort of break off, and then just fill in those gaps. There we are, see? And then they don't have to be crowded, but you know, just whatever you want to put in. And I don't think I'm not going to fill the gaps with, you know, as I usually fill them with the black ink, but I'm not going to do that today. I'm just going to leave them. I think it's nice to have that sort of chocolatey colour coming through there. There we are. So still going to have some bubbles there, I think. Okay. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to bring that border back in. Just going to look where it was. And again, if you don't want to, you don't have to keep it straight. You could wobble it, you could add a couple of little kinks in it if you want to. So whatever you want to do. There we go, see, it's just sort of coming around and behind there. Now, of course, if you wanted to add some little zingers and things, you could. There's more you can do. Oh, Louise, it is a mustard colour, and it's I think it's out of, I can't remember what pack it's called now. So you've got this colour. There's a sort of another mustard. There's another one. Just sort of, I don't recall at the minute, but they're lovely colours. They work really well together. And they're perfect with these tiles. Yeah, so you see, you know, if I was going to use this colour on here, let's just do a little bit of the shape there. Here we go. They're just, you know, they're just sort of gliding on. I'm definitely going to bring more colours from this particular supplier of paper, because their paper is absolutely second to none, and the colours, I've got another set that I've asked them to send me some samples to go with something ready for September. You see there that it's just going over the top. It's beautiful. Of course, you know, if you're only working on one tile, then that's fine. You'll not need the extra colours. Or you could have worked straight over it all with a white if you wanted to. It's whatever you want to do. Just give him a chance that gel pen to dry on the other side. Okay, so you can see where that's sort of headed. Yeah, they're all sort of a moonlight set, Sheila. These are slightly different. I haven't got the box with me. You know what it's like. You put them in your pencil case and before you know it. But they are on my website. Even if you just want to go and have a look at what the colours are. And they're all there, so have a look. So you see where that's sort of headed. And all this, of course, will be done on here with that colour. With that, so it looks great. So, okay. I'm going to bring in a little bit of colour now. You could use just a white pencil, or you could use on this your regular pencil. But because I've got these lovely browns, I'm going to just bring in a little bit of, maybe a bit of orange. just to sort of give it a little bit of something. So here we go. Let's start in this sort of bottom area. I'm just going to add a little bit of orange in there, you see, just in that bottom set. And of course, don't forget, you've got to make sure that your gel pen is dry before you put anything on it. Okay, because otherwise it'll just sort of go over and make a mess. So I've got yellow as well. And then what I would do, I'd probably use the same colour pencils on both tiles, just to sort of bring it together. So just a yellow and an orange there, so mixed in. There we are. So because I'm using pencils, you see, I'm sort of blending them in. Oh, see, it's funny. I know that poor Hermes guy or lady. Okay, so here I'm just using the orange, and I'm just adding that little sort of, it's almost like a backwards letter C, just on one edge, just to sort of bring that in, and then I get back in with that yellow. Just add a little bit of yellow. So instead of using the white highlight, I'm using yellow. See, just sort of bring it in. So I'm not particularly shading that, it's just giving it a bit of a highlight. All right. So I've got a lighter orange. Just going to bring that in. It's like that lovely tangerine colour. And just going to sort of bring in a little bit on that bottom edge. You see, just sort of flick it up a little bit. Because I can't blend this with the tortillon. I mean, you could, if you use the pastels, you could use that. But I'm just sort of flicking it up a bit so it's sort of, you know, softening off as I work. It works its way up. Oh, that's lovely. That colour works lovely with that one. Oh, do you know, if you've got the tangerine tile, maybe you want to use this chocolate colour with a tangerine tile. That'd look divine. There we are. So you see, pressing there and then just sort of flicking it out, letting it fade off. It's the same on this one. Alright. Okay. See, just letting it work its magic up that little petal shape. Okay. Nice. Okay, while I've got this in hand, I'm just going to come in and draw a line around the top of that there. And then this side as well. There we are. Okay. And then see, I've got this gap. I'm just going to a little bit there, just like what we've done. Just like what we've done. Is that English? Just the same as we've done with the petals. Just sort of bring it in. And then let's bring that yellow in again. And you see, just gives it a bit of a highlight there. See, we've got a bit of a glow coming from it now. So, okay, I'm going to go, I'm going to stick with the orangey colour. I'm going to go back with the orange rather than the tangerine. And I'm just going to add a sort of a line around those bubbles. Okay, just like we would really with the pencil, but obviously we know that this isn't going to blend with the tortillon, so just be aware of that. I can get away with it because it's on a dark tile. So, you know, just be aware of what you're working on and use what works for you. Okay. And again, I'm just going to sort of flick it up a little bit. You know, just to break that edge up. Okay, but again, this is why I did a little bit on the other tile. I just wanted to make sure that I'd given it time to all dry off. Okay. Now, of course, if you think, oh, I don't want to use colour, you don't have to. You could go in with a regular pencil and do this. It's not a problem. And then, of course, you can use a tortillon to add a little bit of shade on there. Now, remember, we started in the middle here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in with that tangerine and I'm going to add a little bit to the side there. See where it's sort of, that one's over the top? And then this one here. And this one, see where they sort of lap each other, and then this one is going to have both sides because it's underneath two of them. Then this one, so you know, because we work from the middle outwards, we've got these little lines there, and of course that one's going to have both, see. And I'm coming in with the very pale yellow colour. I'm just on this top section here, I'm just going to add a little bit of a highlight, you see, just like a little line, nothing crazy, just in a few of them. Alright, you see, just not going to all be exactly the same, I'm just adding a little bit where I think I can get away with it. You see now this one, this is sort of the main area, so I'm going to almost create a little like a letter L, because that's the front one, you see, and then this side we're just going to come back around, add little bits. Okay, and just sort of working my way around there, and then this one, little bits, and finally just that one there. And of course you'd carry this around if you were going to do all one tile. So I'm going to go back to my orange, and I'm just going to add just a little bit, just sort of around that bottom edge, you see, almost like, you know, it's a letter, backwards letter C again, isn't it? Just sort of around that bottom edge. Alright. Now, it's nice to sort of add a bit of colour now and again, isn't it? If you don't have to use all of them, you could just use one or two, if you want, it's fine. See, I've not really added lots. And then I'm not going to add any of the sort of lighter colour around this top edge, because I want to sort of keep them slightly darker. But now I've come back in with that tangerine, and I'm just going to sort of go around the shape, just lightly, even over the top of those, just to reiterate that petal shape there, you see. So, you know, don't worry about going over what's underneath, it's all in the background, and that'll help to create that background shape. And just sort of work it along. Okay, you see, so I'm just adding some all the way around that edge. See if you know, a little bit of a roughen the edge, just a little bit. Again, it depends on your tile and your level of, you know, what you want to put in terms of colour. Okay, so then I'm just going to do a line on the inside of that borderline there. Okay, and we're almost there. All right, so I did sort of think about having this border, and it's nice sometimes just to think, you know, what does this mean to me? What is Sanntangle, and you know, this particular group? And you know, it's kind of nice to put some like keywords just around the border if you can. So I find it, you know, anything positive. So I find that this group's supportive and kind. The dots in between, see, look. There we go. Alright, I thought we're pretty sort of relaxed with what we do. There we are. And positive, always positive. That's what it's about. I know we'll have our rough days, but we'll help each other with that. And come out with it, you know, feeling a little bit better. Okay, can't solve all problems. So there you go. So let's have a look at that. All right, so there's our tile. So if you were just doing one tile, that would be your one tile. That's how it looked, which is lovely on its own. But of course, if you want to sort of extend that around to create a larger piece, there's quite a bit to do, but it's going to look lovely, isn't it? Now I have got one I did here. It's a different sort of tangle. I've not used exactly the same tangles, but I think it's kind of nice to show you because it then means you don't have to do exactly the same. But here we go. There it is. So very, very similar in terms of, you know, the main bit here, and I've used the same sort of shapes, but a slightly different tangle, and the same around here. But as you can see that, you know, using, that's the blue tile section. We've done a blue set. So it's one of the navy, it's not even the navy, it's one of the darker blues and the very pale blue. So that's how it looks if you want to do a different colour. And with that, I used those two pens, the two blues there, alternatively. Then I used a little bit of blue pencil and white and a regular pencil. So that's how it could look if that's what you want to do. But of course, if you want to just do the you know, the single tile, there you go. You see, you can just do a single tile. But it was entirely up to you. I just wanted to give you a little bit of a change today and something to work towards. So whether you want to do that full one, whether you want to do a single, whatever colours, if you want to put words in, you can. But have fun with it. Just give it a go and see what comes up. And of course, Rose, if you want to paint, that's fine. Go in and paint it. You don't have to do anything. You can you know, mix and match it however you see fit. So I hope you've enjoyed that one. I hope that you're going to give it a go. And even if it's, you know, not today, over the next sort of week or so, you might think, okay, I'm going to give this a go and I'm going to do a few tiles and see how they work together. And yeah, have a bit of fun with it. So yeah, it's a bit of a challenge, not overly taxing, but a challenge in terms of your time. So if you've got it, have a go. If not, that's okay. So, all right then, I will still have a table here on Friday. So we'll still we'll do the last tile of this premises on Friday. And then of course next Wednesday we'll be in the new place. So, all right then, take care everybody. Have fun with it. Let me know how you get on. And everybody stay safe and well out there. And I will see you soon. All right, you take care everybody. Bye.